Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willie.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willie, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. Folks, did you watch the debates? Or rather, did you watch the State of the Union last night? You know, I didn't want to watch the State of the Union last night. I'll be honest. I was about to not watch it at all, you know. I was about to not watch it, but then I said, you know what? It is my responsibility to you all to watch it. It is something that I have got to do. It is something because, you know what? I'm going to tell you. This State of the Union was atypical. It wasn't a standard State of the Union. It was a campaign rally. So anyhow, here is the deal. The first thing I want to do is I want to play to you, first of all, you know, the impeachment trial is on right now. Before I get into anything relative to the State of the Union, I want to play a piece by Mitt Romney that is very, very important because he is going to be voting against the president. And I think it is essential that we see his rationale, that we see what he is doing, because boy, oh boy, did he lay it on. Here it goes.
The grave question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so extreme and egregious that it rises to the level of a high crime and misdemeanor. Yes, he did. The president asked a foreign government to investigate his political rival. The president withheld vital military funds from that government to press it to do so. The president delayed funds for an American ally at war with Russian invaders. The president's purpose was personal and political. Accordingly, the president is guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust. What he did was not perfect. No, it was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values. Corrupting an election to keep oneself in office is perhaps the most abusive and destructive violation of one's oath of office that I can imagine. In the last several weeks, I've received numerous calls and texts. Many demanded in their words that I stand with the team. I can assure you that that thought has been very much on my mind. You see, I support a great deal of what the president has done. I voted with him 80% of the time. But my promise before God to apply impartial justice required that I put my personal feelings and political biases aside. Were I to ignore the grave question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so extreme and egregious that it rises to the level of a high crime and misdemeanor. Yes, he did. The president asked a foreign government to investigate his political rival. The president withheld vital military funds from that government to press it to do so.
Okay, we're having a little bit of technical problems. I'm going to get that fixed right now, and I'm then going to play that. But I want you all to hear the entire thing that Romney did here because it was prescient. So here we go again, and sorry for that little mishap there, but we have it squared away now.
The grave question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so extreme and egregious that it rises to the level of a high crime and misdemeanor. Yes, he did. The president asked a foreign government to investigate his political rival. The president withheld vital military funds from that government to press it to do so. The president delayed funds for an American ally at war with Russian invaders. The president's purpose was personal and political. Accordingly, the president is guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust. What he did was not perfect. No, it was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values. Corrupting an election to keep oneself in office is perhaps the most abusive and destructive violation of one's oath of office that I can imagine. In the last several weeks, I've received numerous calls and texts. Many demanded in their words that I stand with the team. I can assure you that that thought has been very much on my mind. You see, I support a great deal of what the president has done. I voted with him 80% of the time. But my promise before God to apply impartial justice required that I put my personal feelings and political biases aside. Were I to ignore the evidence that has been presented and disregard what I believe my oath and the Constitution demands of me for the sake of a partisan end, it would, I fear, expose my character to history's rebuke and the censure of my own conscience. I'm aware that there are people in my party and in my state who will strenuously disapprove of my decision, and in some quarters I will be vehemently denounced. I'm sure to hear abuse from the president and his supporters. Does anyone seriously believe that I would consent to these consequences other than from an inescapable conviction that my oath before God demanded it of me? I sought to hear testimony from John Bolton, not only because I believed he could add context to the charges, but also because I hoped that what he might say could raise reasonable doubt and thus remove from me the awful obligation to vote for impeachment. Like each member of this deliberative body, I love our country. I believe that our Constitution was inspired by Providence. I'm convinced that freedom itself is dependent on the strength and vitality of our national character. As it is with each senator, my vote is an act of conviction. We've come to different conclusions, fellow senators, but I trust we have all followed the dictates of our conscience. I acknowledge that my verdict will not remove the president from office. The results of this Senate court will in fact be appealed to a higher court, the judgment of the American people. Voters will make the final decision, just as the president's lawyers have implored. My vote will likely be in the minority in the Senate, but irrespective of these things, with my vote, I will tell my children and their children that I did my duty to the best of my ability, believing that my country expected it of me. I will only be one name among many, no more, no less, to future generations of Americans who look at the record of this trial. They will note merely that I was among the senators who determined that what the president did was wrong, grievously wrong. We are all footnotes at best in the annals of history, but in the most powerful nation on earth, the nation conceived in liberty and justice, that distinction is enough for any citizen. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor. The grave question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so...
Now that was powerful. That was powerful, especially coming from Mitt Romney. Why was that so powerful? Because he didn't just come out and say, I am going to vote against the president. He came out and gave methodically the reasons why any logical person can see that what the president did was to use a foreign country, attempt to use a foreign country to influence something national, something American, something in this country. I mean, I call it treason, okay? But I mean, a lot of people tell me, well, Egberto, that's not the exact definition of treason. I understand. but that is using a foreign army, a foreign something to affect something in this country. And that is simply not right. And that unity that the president was looking for, that the president was asking that every Republican simply forget their conscience, every Republican simply forget that they had a mind, every Republican simply forget what values really are. Like most are forgetting, most of those Republican senators are forgetting right now. But guess what? Romney decided, I just can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. But anyhow, let's get back to what the program is really about today. Title of the show today is State of the Union is Trump's Roadmap to Win. Democrats, don't screw up. Because the State of the Union, the president has laid it out perfectly. The State of the Union is exactly how he intends to win. And believe it or not, if the Democrats don't play and lean in, if the Democrats don't go and say, really, I am going to up you one, I am not going to allow you to lie that way to the people in a manner that the average person in the ghettos, the barrios, and Appalachia can understand, then the president wins. But the thing about it is progressives have the answer. Progressives have the antidote to what Donald Trump did yesterday. And the reason why is Donald Trump had a progressive message yesterday. It's just that he's not driven by a progressive party and he's cloaking his message in a particular way. Folks, I got to get this to you. But anyhow, the title of the show is State of the Union is Trump's Roadmap to Win if Democrats don't do what? If Democrats don't go left, if Democrats don't go progressive, if Democrats don't go and tell Americans what it is they're going to do for them and not try to say Trump is a bad guy. Everybody knows Trump is a bad guy. They don't care. They don't care that Trump is a bad guy. So everybody who is attempting to, let's go ahead and tell them the truth about Trump. Let's go ahead and tell them that Trump hates women. Let's go and tell them that Trump is a racist. Let's go and tell them that none of that matters. Everybody knows it. Everybody know who Trump is. And they'll still vote for Trump. Don't forget, even Democrats say if certain people are elected, they'll vote for Trump. So what do we do? Donald Trump's State of the Union was a farce that could work if Democrats do not come out and address it forcefully. Not just the lies, but the sentiment. Donald Trump had a great sentiment in that message. You know, my daughter said, I said, what do you think about the speech? I said, well, you know, the speech was full of lies. And she said, yeah, Dad, but you know something? I thought it was a good speech. My daughter is as progressive as I am. She said, Daddy, I thought it was a good speech. Not only do I think it's a good speech, for those people who are not going to fact check, which means it's all the people that currently follow Trump, they will never fact check it. So nothing that they say on TV or anything will matter to them because they are going to vote for Trump. Unless, and this is where I came in, and I told my baby, I said, my beautiful daughter mine, you're right. But that occurs because we have ceded all those people to Trump. We have ceded those people to Trump, and we're not going to do that this time. Independent media won't allow them to do that. I mean, while the MSNBC and those guys are still trying to play within the left rail and the right rail in such a manner that they don't derramar too much on the left, they don't spill over too much on the left, and they don't spill over too much on the right. You know, the mainstream media is still trying to do what they do. Centralize, centrist, right? They still think that there's a possibility that may actually do stuff. No, it won't. No, it won't. It's not that. People want action. People want change. And if they're not seeing change, if they're seeing Republican light, I'll go with Trump. And Trump made the play yesterday. Trump did something that, well, let me finish right here. Nancy Pelosi's reaction to Trump's State of the Union speech was important and necessary. She showed a strength that other Democrats must necessarily see as leaning into Trump as opposed to fearing and timidly tiptoeing around him and his constituents. So here's the deal. Nancy Pelosi did this. That was an illustrative moment right there. When Nancy Pelosi decided to rip the paper And let me play that for you, and then I'm going to tell you how important that was. A lot of people say, oh, she was going down or stooping to Trump's level. No, 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 no. Nancy Pelosi, what she did there was a power move. Let's play that real quick, and then we'll come back. Great. Thank you for saying that. Here we go. Here we go. What Nancy did there was a power move. It was a necessary power move. Okay? Why did she do that? Nancy wanted to show Democrats and independents and thinking Republicans, we are not going to tolerate this crap anymore. I think I got the sound fixed now, Liu Yurif, so you should be hearing me now. What she was showing right now is that we are going to show Americans this is how you fight. This is how you fight. And that is what she meant. Now, what does this is how you fight means? Let me tell you what Donald Trump is going to do. Let's first talk about what Donald Trump is going to do. If you notice, he brought in the topic of Medicare for all in the socialism context. Let's talk about that a little bit. I want to play that minute for you, and we'll go from there. Let's see. That's this right here. Come on out.
Many experts believe that transparency, which will go into full effect at the beginning of next year, will be even bigger than health care reform. It will save families massive amounts of money for substantially better care. But as we work to improve Americans' health care, there are those who want to take away your health care, take away your doctor, and abolish private insurance entirely. 132 lawmakers in this room have endorsed legislation to impose a socialist takeover of our health care system, wiping out the private health insurance plans of 180 million very happy Americans. To those watching at home tonight, I want you to know we will never let socialism destroy American health care.
Okay, I don't know what our president was talking about there. I am not sure what he was referring to when he talks about, oh, we are going to somehow take your health care away. Well, we know it's really crap what he's talking about. We know that. We know that he's not making any sense. Here's the deal, people. Here's what the president is trying to do. The president is intent on telling you that somehow Americans love their health care. Americans simply love it. They couldn't do without it. They love the insurance that they have, what their corporations give them, and that anything else is bad for you. So what are Democrats to do? Are they to sit back and just, believe that, take that as that's the way things are? No. No, because that's not the truth. The truth is it's simple. It is rather simple. You don't fight Donald Trump by telling Americans, no, Donald Trump is lying. Don't believe Donald Trump. You tell them, we want to provide you. We don't want to give the private insurance companies the options to select what doctor you are going to use. We don't want to give the private insurance companies the option to tell you what medicines you can take. We don't want to give the insurance companies the options to say every time you step into that door, whether you just got paid or not, that somehow you have to come up with a copay you may not have in your pocket at that time. We want to give it to you that you get a card. You get a card that every American citizen gets. And when you walk into that doctor's office, the doctor of your choice, you show them that card and your claim is accepted. Most of the doctors are now on board. Most of the doctor organizations are now on board. Yeah, the rich specialists are not. But it makes sense because the only reason the 30% of the premiums that you pay are going into the pockets of rich people. It's going into the pockets of the shareholders that are sitting down at their pools. It is going to all these places that have nothing to do with healthcare. They're just taking your money. You pay those, people say, well, I'm only paying $300 a month in premiums. No, you're not. If you're working for a company that's paying for your healthcare plan and they're paying your premium, that is money that you would have had in wages that you don't have. So therefore, that insurance company is taking your money and giving it to a rich fat cat. A rich guy sitting at his pool. You see, we have to understand how these things work. And then when we understand how they work, we can start telling it to the people, to Trumpists. I've sat down in Starbucks and talked to Trump supporters. And by the time we are done, it's not that they don't like Trump anymore. But I tell you what, they start to think and they start to say, wait a minute. That makes sense. And then the conversations always end like this. Don't listen to what I'm telling you. Look it up. Don't listen to me. Look it up. Because throwing the socialism mantra on Medicare for all, which is what they're going to use, I say, you don't use the socialism word, but lean in to what you want to do. Lean into what you want to do. Then ask them what they want to do. And yours is going to sound better. Because remember, going forward, you are telling every American citizen, you no longer have a premium. Okay? You're telling them, you no longer have a copay. You're telling them, you no longer have a deductible. And then you're also saying, and guess what? Everybody pays. Every single American pays for health care based on how much money you make. Everybody pays. If you're making a lot of money, you pay a lot of money. If you make a little bit of money, you pay a little bit of money. But guess what? You have skin in the game. We all have skin in the game. So it's not free healthcare. It's not giving away things for free. It's creating a humane, healthy society. And let nobody tell you that is not what we're doing. Because that is exactly what we're doing. Believe it or not, that is what we're doing. And you know what? You're going to have the right wingers of the world the ones who have been paid by the plutocracy either overtly or covertly. A lot of people don't even know they're being paid by the plutocracy to put their line out. A lot of people think this is of their own volition, but no, the plutocracy paying a hell of a lot of them. Okay, a lot of them don't realize that. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. You may think that, oh, they're going to say, oh, but you're going to have long lines. Oh, but you're not going to have this service. Don't believe that crap. The other countries are doing it. Great Britain is doing it. Canada is doing it. You don't see Canadians in mass run into America for services. Now, you may have a rich Canadian here or there that may go ahead, oh, we want, they want services with pedals put on their streets and their beds. Well, you can do that. If you want insurance for pedals and have a servant serving you caviar in bed at the hospital, hey, go private insurance. They can pay for you. You can do that. But that's not what it's all about. Every other country in the world that's worth anything, they do it. And it costs less than we do. And you know what? What is so funny, people, brothers and sisters? The math is simple. The math is not difficult. If you have less expenses and less people to pay, then the services cost less. If you don't have to say, if your premiums don't first have to pay the shareholders that are drinking tea at their pool, if your premiums don't have to pay hundreds and thousands of people selling insurance policies, if your premiums don't have to pay for a bunch of different buildings that each insurance company has, if your premiums don't have to pay for every single insurance advertising you see on TV, on the internet, on radio, and elsewhere, if you don't have to pay for those things, because remember, as a payer of premiums, you are paying all of that. You know, people say, oh, well, the company is paying. No. Your premium pays for all those expenses. All those expenses are paid by you. So if you eliminate that by having a single payer Medicare for all system, then, of course, you don't have to worry about anything else. Anything else, they are lying to you. They are trying to tell you, we know you're dumb. The only person that will want private insurance and think private insurance can be private health insurance can be less expensive than a single payer insurance plan is either completely indoctrinated into not being able to accept facts, or they don't care too much about humanity. So what I'm saying, you see, I know all those people that care about humanity they support Medicare for all. But here's the deal. There are a lot of people who know the truth, and they still are trying to sell private insurance over a single payer, nonprofit Medicare for all. They're still trying to sell it. Those are the people we must go up against. We must let them pay for their inhumanity. We must let them pay for their immorality because they know the truth. Not your average person that's walking around there that says, I don't want Medicare for all because I want to have choices. Well, these people have created a narrative to make these people believe that they get choices from private health care. So we have to work with those people. Those are not the people I think are immoral. Those are not the people that I think are inhumane. The people that are inhumane are the companies that are hired by these people to create a false narrative to fool you into believing that somehow having private healthcare that has all these other expenses can somehow be less expensive than us as a society have one risk pool where everybody shares the same risk. And if we all share the same risk, we don't have different insurance companies doing. You know what? Let me tell you what's so funny. What somebody told me one time. You just don't understand what insurance companies do. I say, yes, I do. They say, you don't understand it. Sir, I really do understand what insurance companies do. What do? They manage risk. Yes, they do. And that is the reason why you have to do X, Y. And I'm like, but sir, in healthcare, why do you need to have several risk pools? Why do you need to have every insurance company trying to hold on to its own risk pool? It's ridiculous. But Daniel Ladosa is getting boring. He's out. The reason he's out is that he realized that he cannot take the truth. He cannot take the truth. And that is what it's all about. But for those of you who are sticking around, please share. Let people understand how this stuff really, really work. Because when we have those people that continue to fool you, we have to fight against that. We have to be clearly fighting against that. So anyhow, you can't be managing. If you have several private insurance companies, each of those insurance companies try to manage risk to maximize the profits for their shareholders. So what do they do to manage risk? They pay less of your bills. They look for the cheaper medicines. They look for all the things that are cheap. All the things that they do is to go ahead and make sure that you don't get the care you need because it costs, and anything that they pay for you is bonuses they're not getting for themselves, as well as less shareholder value in the particular stock and insurance companies. You get rid of that completely. You don't have to worry about that because everybody, absolutely everybody in the country is insured one risk pool. And our total cost is whatever it takes to make every American citizen healthy. And if you don't believe, what we need is something that makes every American citizen. Hello, Maywood from California. Hi, Kathleen Maureen Morgan. Hi, Daniel Lado, Mike Zisak, and everybody else that I haven't spoken to. And Sue, let's see. Joe Galvang, Brandy Losell. I think I saw Ann, Lou Yuriv. I saw Ann something in there. Let's scroll down. Amy Sue, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, everybody that's here with me. So, folks, what Democrats have to do, because that is what Donald Trump is going to do. I want to play you one other clip from the speech that he gave, because this one here is the coup de grace. He's going to use hate now, right? He knows that he cannot just use that socialism mantra to win, right? So what he's going to use next is he has to find another method to go at the carnality of people, where people hurt, where it's going to scare people, where it's going to do some crazy things to people. So I want to show you what else he said now. Check this out.
Over 130 legislators in this chamber have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens, forcing taxpayers to subsidize free care for anyone in the world who unlawfully crosses our borders. These proposals would raid the Medicare benefits of our seniors and that our seniors depend on, while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states. Their systems are totally out of control, costing taxpayers vast and unaffordable amounts of money. If forcing American taxpayers to provide unlimited free health care to illegal aliens sounds fair to you, then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens.
Notice how he frames that now. Free government health care for illegal aliens. I don't even like the word illegal aliens. He means undocumented workers. But here's the kicker, right? And, this is where I tell Democrats you have got to lean in. You must not fear. Because here's my argument to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says, and they want to give illegal aliens free medical care. Actually, the answer should be no, they want to give every resident of a particular locale the health care that everybody else has. Why? And guess what we can use? We can use SARS and we can use the coronavirus as a very good example, right? Do you think these viruses know if the body that they're in belongs to a documented worker or an undocumented worker? Hell no. So we ought to spin exactly what Donald Trump is suggesting, as Donald Trump wants to kill you. Oh, it sounds crazy, right? But that is the kind of way Donald Trump talks. Donald Trump says, oh, they want to give free health care to illegal aliens. That's stupid. So what do we say now? We say, okay, Donald Trump wants to kill you because if that illegal alien, I don't call him that, but if that illegal alien gets coronavirus because he cannot seek health care in the United States of America, and he is in the United States of America because some American plutocrat is hiring him to do some work, he's going to infect you. So Donald Trump wants you dead. Donald Trump wants you infected because Donald Trump wants to do everything that is necessary not to keep the entire country healthy. You see, the former chairman of the Republican Party, I was very impressed with him on MSNBC recently. I don't remember his name. You know who I'm talking about. The former chairman of the Republican Party. He said the following. He said, the Democrats need to learn how to use the A word when they're fighting with Donald Trump. What does that mean? ¿Qué significa eso? ¿Qué es lo que él quiere hacer? What does he want to do? What is he trying to say? It is simple. He's talking about asymmetrical warfare with Donald Trump because Donald Trump is not a straight shooter. So therefore, if you try to shoot straight at Donald Trump, he's ready for you and he's ready to miss the ball. But asymmetrically is perfect. So Donald Trump says, they're trying to give illegal aliens free health care. No, Donald Trump, you are trying to kill the people you say you love, Donald Trump. You are trying to kill the constituents by not allowing the spread of diseases. Asymmetric. You don't fight it on his terms. We fight on our terms. Our terms are the benevolent terms. Our terms are the right terms. Our terms are the moral terms. Our terms are the terms of values. So that's what we use on him. We have no fear. No fear. What happens with Democrats too many times is they start to calculate, okay, Donald Trump people don't think too much, right? So therefore we can't say this, we can't. No, that is silly. What we want for people are the things people easily understand and they themselves want. We don't have to be scared. What we have to do is not talk about it in highfalutin terms, right? I can say the marginal propensity to consume of a poor person has much more value, and as such, we should have given tax credits to the younger, or rather to the more people, the poorer people, because that would have created more economic activity, because the circulation of money or the velocity of money, M1, would have created a much bigger bang for the buck. You know, that is the reality of what would have happened. That is how we tell people that it's best to give tax cuts to poorer people. But if we say it like that, Trump would come back. Remember I said asymmetrical warfare. Say, listen to how they talk. That they're talking down to you. No. So you say, no. What we need to do is talk to the people where they're at. Talk to people where they're at. The values of progressives are the values of the Trump voter. The values of progressives are the values of Democratic voters. The values of progressives transcends parties. And once we get our narrative correct, bold, unapologetic, not timid, moral, values, taking it forth, then we'll get the job done. For some reason, I have misplaced one of my things that have the telephone number. So if you want to call, folks, if you want to talk, give me a call at 646-716-5812. For some reason, it's not up there right now. 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Look, folks, there's no doubt that speech that Trump gave yesterday was a great speech to get people excited, to get people to vote. And I'm not only talking people who love Trump, okay? I'm talking to other people, and I use other people as templates. What do you think about the speech? What did you think? Now, the elitists and the people that, with a lot of knowledge, they know that what Trump spoke about was utter crap. They know this is not a Trump economy. They know that there's no revitalization in manufacturing. They know that the stock market is being built on the repo that Trump has forced the bankers, the Fed, to inflate the repo market so that the repo market no longer reflects the volatility of the bank. So of course stock goes up because you're inflating the repo market, but nobody knows that, right? Because the mainstream media is not talking about that because everybody is happy with a stock market that keeps growing. But there are a lot of people who know what's occurring in the repo market, and they know that when the repo market dries up, the stocks are coming tumbling down. But they're ready because they're getting it high so that they can sell, and they don't mind selling into a few points down. It's all a racket. It's all another a house of cards. And it is so important that we start talking about this. We need to talk about the impending collapse. We need to talk about what the economy is really doing. We need to talk about what's really occurring in the Midwest, in Appalachia, in the urban areas. We need to start just talking about it, telling folks what we're going to do to take care of it. And we can do that. Don't be fooled. Don't dare be fooled into believing that the game is not in our hands. Because guess what, my brothers and my sisters? We are leading the game. And if we follow these tenets, look, I talk to a lot of people on an individual basis. Let's say we were to multiply this kind of addressing, this kind of respecting of people, this kind of talking to people where they are. Think about if all of us are doing that. We will make the difference. That's why we have independent radio. And while I talk about having independent radio, of course, I got to start talking about, hey, folks, why don't you go ahead and show that you support independent media by going to store.politicsdoneright.com. Go to store.politicsdoneright.com and get our t-shirt that says, I support independent media. Because you know what, folks, that helps independent media move forward. We have several t-shirts. There are many other shirts. We have funny ones like Donald Trump in handcuffs with a ball, dragging a ball, that says an unconventional president that requires or an unconventional exit, all that. We have some good stuff there. So please go to store.politicsdoneright.com, supportpoliticsdoneright.com. But if you want to be a subscriber, you can be a subscriber to Politics Done Right. We need subscribers badly. We need 1,000 subscribers. We're barely at 100. So go ahead and subscribe here. I just placed it inside of our. The thing here. Also, you can, if you want to help us upgrade our equipment, we're doing our continuous upgrade. That is, you can feel free to go ahead and upgrade at the GoFundMe.com/independent-media-upgrade. So if you want to subscribe at patreon.com/politicsdoneright. That is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. If you want to contribute to our equipment fund, GoFundMe.com/independent-media-upgrade. And of course, you can always contribute at any time to the show by going to paypal.me/politicsdoneright. That is paypal.me/politicsdoneright. And of course, here is the link to our store. There is the link to our store. So folks, please remember, we need your support. That's the only way we can continue doing this effectively for you. It's hard work right now as it is. I'm doing all the video cutting, all the video splicing, all the writing, all the blogging, all that stuff. It's a 16-hour-a-day ordeal. But you know what? When I made that promise that we were going to be a part of the change, and there are a lot of other independent media outlets doing exactly what I'm doing here because they understand that we have to make a difference and that we have to be a part of the change. It's easy to sit down and say, well, I don't want to do this, or I don't have the power to do it. We all have the power to do it together. You can either do it actively as I'm doing. You can contribute to ensure that we can continue doing this. There are many ways for everyone who really want to participate to participate. So I'm asking you so kindly to please become a subscriber of Politics Done Right by going to patreon.com/politicsdoneright, or you can just go to politicsdoneright.com and choose the various different options that we have to support. Okay, let me go ahead and go to the questions or answers on the screen right now. Let's see. Mike Cisak must have said something because he created a ruckus. The facts show otherwise. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm in Houston. What facts are you referring to? My branded the facts that came out with this. I'm not talking about that. Okay, Daniel Ledosa. Everybody knows Egberto is a communist. Egberto is not a communist. Egberto believes in free enterprise and a very strong social safety net, period. That's who I am. You can label it however you want. If you want to open your own sandwich shop, if you want to open your own computer software company, if you want to open whatever, I want you to have the ability to do so. I don't want you to be crippled or tied or tethered to a corporation because you must have them for your insurance. I want every American citizen to have insurance. I want to have health care. I want every single American to have child care. I want every single American to have access to college. I want every single American to have access to all these things. And this is possible and affordable. That's the most important part. We can restructure our economy to make all of this not only possible, but affordable. Because we are the one who define what an economy is going to be like. We allowed others to define an economy that create mass wealth disparity, even though those that are wealthy are not the ones deserving of said wealth, given that everybody else is the one who made them wealthy. Let's remember that. Okay, PBS attempted to fact check the speech, but they failed to do so, as everything Trump said was true. Boy. Mike Cisak, if you really believe that, I am very, very concerned about you. If you really believe that, when we can, the charts for the economy are, you can get the charts for the economy. You can see the trajectory of growth of the economy to see what Trump said was true yesterday. I mean, it's not a hidden fact. To just go to the government site, the BLS. That's all you got to do. Go to BLS and you can get the data. Egberto, if you really want to know what Trump is all about, go read. Let me see what that is. Now you have me curious. Okay. He calls out bad behavior like he did regarding gangs. If you go back and listen to his words in context, you'll see it's very careful not to insult. Who are you talking about? That can't be Trump you're talking about. Anyhow, let's go to the next one. No sound. I got that sound fixed. LOL. Only an unhinged Marxist like Egberto thinks that is a power move. Everybody else sees it as a petulant and immature tantrum. Did you ever say that about all the things that Donald Trump has done, Mr. Ledo? I doubt that. No, that was a power move, but I understand what you think. Twitter was trending with people pissed off at Nancy, calling her Nancy the Ripper. No, that was mostly the ideologues that probably did that, not most people. Really? You want more immaturity from your elected officials? That's funny. Okay, let's see now. Trump just got acquitted on abuse of power. He was just acquitted. All right, Lee Urib, he was going after Sanders. I know he was going after Sanders. Urib, you're absolutely right. Okay, Mike Cisak, unions have fought to get a top-end health care and are very happy with that kind of cure. To change what unions have to that which is like Medicaid crap, we piss them off to no end and they vote. Mike, you don't get it. That is the narrative that you must use to keep a union person from voting in their own interest. If that union person believes that lie, you are right. But if I go to a union person and I say, union person, what is your copay? And they say, oh, $5. I said, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I say, union person, how much are you paying premium? Oh, I pay $100 a month. You don't have to pay that anymore. If I say, oh, union guy, what is a Cavalier? All of that's gone, union guy. Because you know what, union guy? Your Medicare for all is better than anything that company is willing to offer you. And you know why it is? Because we take out the middleman. Your company don't only have to pay your premium, but your premium also has to pay the president of the company and all those different pieces and those people. It's no longer there. It's math, Mike. It's math. Math still works. Lou tells me to keep preaching. I will, sir. I will, sir. Daniel Ledo say, how do I know Egberto is a hack? Notice how he thinks saying everyone knows and we all know is a valid argumentation. He has that in common with every 14-year-old. Oh, wow. Now I'm a 14-year-old, Mr. Ledo. Oh, coming from you, I accept it. Amy Sue says, that's exactly what Sanders say about they try to shut him up. Both parties do that. You're correct. So correct, Amy Sue. Mike C6 says, Egberto, I could sit down with those same people, offer them another solution, and they would choose my solution over yours every single time. I tell you what, Mike Cisak, why don't we put that to the test? Mike, are you up for it? Let's get somebody, a Republican. Let's get a Republican. And let's you and I talk to each of those Republicans and see, let's try to prove if what you said is true. I'm willing to take that wager. Everybody would have their taxes go up on average 13 to over 50%, and that would not be enough. Then you don't know math if that's what you believe. You just don't understand the wealth gap in this country, CSAC. If you understood the wealth gap, you'd realize that the 80% to the bottom, they get peanuts. The money is there, no doubt. Daniel Ado, okay, do the illegal immigrants pay? How about those with jobs? Yes, the illegal immigrants pay because given that we are funding from taxes and given that the people you want to call illegal immigrants are paying taxes, finally, yes, they will be paying for health care. And that is what's so funny about this entire issue. They currently are not integrated into the system. Okay, so they go to the doctor because of our laws. Okay, they get seen and then they stick everybody else with the bill. But if every working person, a part of their taxes is to provide health care, then everybody pays, whether you're undocumented or documented. You see, it's so simple. It is so simple. But you guys have to complicate it because they want to transfer their inhumanity to you. Daniel Ledo, okay, this has turned yet another show on healthcare boring. I'm out. Goodbye. Mike Cisak, same, have to go back to work to pay for the welfare taxes to those not working like me. Oh, wow. I feel for you, Mike. Kathleen says, patently false. What's your source of estimate of 50%? They just pull that out of the air, Kathleen. That's all they do. They pull it out of the air. Maywood, hello from Long Beach, California. Hello, Mary. Louis Uriv, as the former head of ethics and compliance for a nationwide health insurance company, I agree 100% with what you're saying, Egberto. Thank you so kindly, El Señor Lou Uriv. Maywood, replying to Mike Cisak, not true, Mike, but let's say it's true. Their total expenses would go down to nearly 10%. You know what? It's so funny, May. You get it. You get it, May. You get it. All right. Gerald Medee, Census Act, pioneers of war, all criminals came back for kings and queens. 1619 people have died of racism and hate crimes. That free labor, whoa, all capital letters. Let's see what else. Taxes. Okay, good, Gerald McGee. Daniel then says, Trump has just been acquitted. Yep, forever. That's fine. Not forever, though. We can impeach him again. Don't forget that. And believe me, if he were somehow to win re-election, oh, there's a lot coming down for him. All right, Daniel Ledo say, propaganda is hard at work. These lies don't think themselves up. I would love you to identify what specifically I said that is a lie, and I can guarantee you won't find one. Daniel Ledo says, yes, he's a communist. Everybody knows it. Funny. Are you gaslighting Mike Cisak? What can I say? Folks, I want to thank you guys so kindly for being a part of Politics Done Right. I am starting to set up some interviews for the next few weeks, some important interviews that I'll bring to you. For now, just want to say thank you for being a part of Politics Done Right. Politics Done Right will only continue with your support. So like I have in the items out there, please support Politics Done Right as best you can. Become a subscriber, become a member, or go to our store and get some of the stuff we have. We also have my book, As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. I think I have it on the screen there. This book is real. I really strongly urge you can go to Amazon and get it, or you can go to my site and buy it. It's a book worth reading. Please check it out. And if anybody who wants a bumper sticker or whatever, just drop me a line and say, Berto, mail me a bumper sticker, and I'll mail you a bumper sticker. please subscribe to Politics Done Right. It's very inexpensive, and we need your support more than anything else. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out.